The free character for version 7.0 has already been spotted, and the community is not calm about it. In this video, we are covering everything you need to know about Snezhnaya's launch, the timeline, the banners, what changed, who got delayed, and the free 4-star that every single player is walking away with on day 1. This is the channel for Genshin leaks, updates, and analysis, everything that helps you plan ahead. Subscribe so you don't miss anything as 7.0 gets closer. Now let's get into it. First, let's establish where we are. We are currently in version 6.6, which launched May 20th. This is the Nod Krai chapter, the final story arc before everything changes. After 6.6 comes version 6.7 on July 1st. That is the last patch before the big one. No 6.8. Hoa is going straight from 6.7 into Snezhnaya. August 12th, 2026, version 7.0. That date is not a guess. Hoaverse essentially confirmed it themselves through the redemption code shown during their official Snezhnaya and the future special program. That is as close to a hard confirmation as you get before an official announcement. Mark it now 2.5 months away. Now let's talk banners, because this is where things shifted hard from what most people were expecting. A few months ago, the community had a fairly confident picture of what 7.0 banners would look like. Vadanita as Phase 1, Pantalone potentially in Phase 2. That was the lineup people were saving Primos for. That picture has changed completely. The most recent leak cluster from Leihuo and HXG Diluca combination the community treats as credible for early stage information is now pointing to an entirely different 7.0 lineup. Phase 1 is looking like a 5-star Anemo tall male DPS, tall adult male model, same tire as Diluc, John Lee. New Violet. Anemo, a cryonation, is an interesting element chose that suggests either an outsider arriving in Snezhnaya or a deliberate decision to diversify the launch roster. The broader leaks describe Snezhnaya male characters as leaning heavily into tall, imposing adult models with a militaristic fatui aesthetic. One character specifically described as heading an veteran from HSR Energy, but in a cold military uniform. That description alone has caused an enormous reaction. People are calling it the course correction for male characters, and the hype is real. Phase 2 is pointing to a 5-star tall female DPS, element currently unspecified. Now, Pantalone, I have to address this because it is all over every comment section right now. The Harbinger fans know the question. Where is he? Older leaks set him as a strong 7.0 Phase 2 candidate. He appeared significantly in the 6.6 story. He is the 9th Harbinger, the Regrader, one of the most anticipated characters in the entire Snezhnaya roster. And according to the latest information, he is not in 7.0. Not cancelled, not scrap delayed, the current read puts him somewhere in the 7.1 to 7.3 window. This is a very standard Hoa move. They consistently hold back major Harbingers to give the story space to develop. The 7.0 Archon quest is going to be establishing Snezhnaya, introducing new mechanics, setting the stage. Dropping the heaviest lore character in the same patch compresses the impact, saving him builds more payoff later. The Pantalone mains community is coping, and honestly, the cope makes sense. Vadanita, previously expected as a 7.0 unit, also looks like a post-launch edition now. So the 7.0 roster is shuffled significantly, new 5-stars carrying the Snezhnaya aesthetic, delayed fan favorites, and a launch built around fresh faces rather than front-loading the most anticipated names. And this is what I actually want to spend the most time on, because this is the character that every single player is going to get, no primos required. If you watch the Snezhnaya teaser, you already saw him, medium male model, massive fur hood with red accents, thick layered winter clothing, yellow-green eyes, a polearm, and an Electro vision visible on his leg in certain frames, fighting alongside the Traveler in what looks like an early Snezhnaya area. Leaks are floating his name as Itai, spelling varies, still early, subject to change. But the design, the element, the model type, and his placement in the teaser have all locked in a clear community consensus. He is the free 4-star in 7.0. The pattern first, every X0 regional launch gives you a free 4-star. Xiangling in Liu, Kaliai in Sumeru, Freminette and Lynette in Fontaine. This is not speculation, it is a consistent Ho-Oh formula. The free unit serves as an accessible introduction to the region's mechanics, and he fits that slot perfectly. The design reads 4-star in the best possible way. The 5 stars teased for Snezhnaya are imposing, militaristic adults. They carry 5-star visual weight. Itai has different energy, warm, approachable, slightly scrappy. He feels like the character you meet early in the story who becomes your regional companion. And he is one of the most positively received designs from a single teaser shot in recent memory. Warmly dressed, practical fur hood with real Siberian and Evenki cultural references baked into the outfit. People love that he actually looks like he belongs in a frozen nation rather than being designed purely for aesthetics over logic. Now, what does he actually do? And this is where it gets interesting. Via Uncle Valentina, his role is now clearly defined. He's a Sandrone support. He applies Electro for stellar superconduct, but he cannot create stellar superconduct by himself. That one line changes everything about how you think about him. Stellar superconduct is not a reaction any cryo and electro character can just trigger freely. Sandrone is the trigger. She is the cryo harbinger who creates the stellar glow domain. What Itai does is feed her, applying Electro off-field so that when Sandrone's cryo connects, she can fire the reaction, build the field, and give every cryo and electro character inside it a 38% damage bonus. Without consistent electro application, that field does not get going. Without Itai, Sandrone loses her most accessible support structure. So what Ho-Oh is really doing by making him the free character is handing every single player half of Sandrone's core team on day 1. You log in on August 12th, you get Itai for free, and you already have the electro applicator Sandrone needs to function. The message is deliberate. Now go pull her. It is a free character that doubles as a mechanical incentive to engage with the 7.0 banner, and that is genuinely smart game design. For F2P players who do pull Sandrone, a well-built Itai from day 1 means your investment immediately has the support structure around it. For players who skip her, he still functions as an electro applicator and has reportedly minor story significance tied to Abyss lore, so he is not dead weight either way. But his ceiling that is clearly with Sandrone. So here is where version 7.0 stands. August 12th, 2026, Snezhnaya opens. The banners shifted. Pantalone delayed, Vadanita delayed. And in their place, a new 5-star Anemo tall male DPS in Phase 1 and a tall female DPS in Phase 2. Fresh faces built for the Fatui militaristic aesthetic the region promises. And waiting for every single player is the free character, a cozy, warmly dressed, fur-hooded, medium male electro polearm user who is positioned perfectly as the stellar conduct enabler for the entire early Snezhnaya meta. Good design, cultural inspiration, practical winter clothes, a role that could make him genuinely matter. After everything, every Gnosis, every Harbinger arc, every build-up since 2020, the gates open August 12th. And the character everyone is already attached to before we even have his full kit is the free 4-star. Don't sleep on him. If this breakdown helped you plan ahead, subscribe. That is exactly what this channel is here for. Snezhnaya leaks are only going to accelerate from here. See you in the next one.